Welcome in Tuesday edition Oxford Exxon Podcast, December the 6th. Good morning here with you today. We'll talk some recruiting, some football, some Ole Miss roster management, some NFL. I don't know, whatever else strikes our fancy. There was actually some buzz around baseball yesterday. Trey Turner signing quite the large deal, at least from a total value, more than necessarily a market rate annual value with the Philadelphia Phillies. So that and more coming up on today's show. A show brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon Highway 6 West in Oxford. Lunch specials, they change every day, but you head in, you get a great deal on one of those. They come with any size fountain drink and bread as well. They will have your ribs ready to go for dinner tonight if you'd like that, wet or dry. Call ahead. They'll wrap them up. Again, waiting on you there with all Blue Sky locations in Mississippi that take part in that, including the Oxford Exxon. Again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are, Clark Ford's, Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it, ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. There's no hassle. There's no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is completely up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done multiple times, what I recommend that you do, and that is hop into a Clark Ford today, 662-257-1900. A guest will join on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Rafters on the Square is the perfect place for your Christmas party or gathering. They can accommodate parties of 10 to 500. Great food with a Cajun flair, holiday drinks, and a festive atmosphere. Call Jeannie, 601-842-0948 to request a catering menu and reserve a date. Kyle Wilson with the Super Chat early says, are all the people in the portal from Alabama pissed off at coaching or just trying to get paid? Trying to get paid. They know there's some cachet with being from Alabama, and there's a gamble on their part that it will lead to a bidding war and they will make more money somewhere else. And it's also possible that the guys that are getting in the portal have been told by Alabama, hey, you probably ought to explore your options, champ. Got to consider that possibility at least.
Oh, well, that's a definite thing there. I mean, a lot of players they have eyes. They're aware of what's likely for their futures wherever they are. That's not a secret there.
It's possible Alabama's pursuing guys in the portal to replace those guys. I don't know. The portal's we'll talk about it in a minute. The portal's silly. And I'm all for it. Good for the kids. But man, there are some kids getting really crummy advice.
Yeah, we'll get into it in a minute. I'm frustrated by the portal already, and it's been one day. Reading from the thread here in the stream, is something wrong with Joey Chestnut, the competitive eater? Because I don't know how you eat that fewer pounds in a competition unless something is wrong. That seems like a huge difference. So they're discussing our friends at St. Elmo.
Maybe he was just savoring.
We do love
bite.
Their cocktail sauce. It is fantastic.
It is
much
good.
as we make fun of them, the cocktail sauce is prime,
it is
wonderful,
fantastic.
great.
It is
awesome.
so good.
Look, it's a little hot, but you got to like the hot. But it is quite good.
But if you like spice, it's fantastic.
I mean, I put it on a lot of stuff, not just shrimp.
Oh,
I mean, it's great.
I did too.
So they had the St. Elmo's shrimp cocktail eating contest yesterday. Joey Chestnut wins. He finishes fourth. He ate 7 pounds fewer than last year. The winner, Jeff Esper, ate 16 pounds and 6 ounces of shrimp cocktail from St. Elmo's in 8 minutes. That's more than 2 pounds a minute.
Do you have to eat the sauce too?
I'm sure you have to at least grab them out of the sauce.
Okay.
You would be on fire.
Yeah.
With that quick, that much.
Yeah.
$1,500 is not enough.
And maybe Joey Chestnut just said, you know what, it's not worth it. I don't care.
Felt like he had to go because he was the defending champion.
Or he just wanted to go to Indianapolis.
He got free shrimp cocktail.
I mean, people have sold their souls for a lot less than $1,500 for that. I mean, think of some of the NCAA puff pieces that have been written just for a free shrimp cocktail. And I guess you get a steak, too.
You do get a steak.
Supposedly the steaks are excellent.
Okay. The shrimp cocktail, though, with that, it's the cocktail sauce. Look, the best shrimp in the world is not coming to Indianapolis. The shrimp cocktail, compared to other steakhouses, though, is much better than that steak would be to other premium steakhouses. I mean,
Sure.
it's very doubtful. You go, oh my God, that is A1, the best steak I've ever had.
No chance.
The odds of that aren't good.
No.
I mean,
well, and the truth is, I mean, not to go down this rabbit hole too far, but in today's world, and this is going to sound like a plug for LBs, but it's not just LBs, although Greg knows how I feel about him. You can go to a place like LB's, right, that gets prime meat.
Yeah, prime cuts.
Prime cuts. And you can get a tomahawk steak.
Yeah.
And you can get your grilling apparatus to the proper heat. You can sear it, whatever style you have, sear it, wrap it, put it in the oven to get to the desired temperature.
Sear it, whatever you want to do.
And your steak is going to be at an absolute minimum every bit as good as what you're going to get in the premium steakhouses. Now, you're not going to get the steakhouse experience necessarily, and you're having to do the work yourself. But if you're just talking about the quality of the steak, you can.
And if you can get a grill to 500 degrees, you can sear it. And if you don't do it, like if you're not doing that, it's your own fault. Because there's so much information out there that you can find out anything you want to find out to play around. And
it's very simple to get like a big green egg to 525, and keep it there long enough to sear a steak, wrap it, put it in the oven, and just put it in the oven and let it get to the desired temperature. You can have your oven preheated to 325 or 350 or whatever the science tells you.
Finish it on the egg; it'll cook.
Or you can finish it on the egg. You can cut the heat off, and the heat's going to go down, and whatever. My point is if you want to replicate a steakhouse experience for much less, you can pull it off.
Hardman says apparently it's a Major League Eating sanctioned event, and they wanted to do it around the Big Ten championship. So my hunch is he got some appearance fee.
Yeah, and he just didn't have the appetite for it, if you will.
Well, look,
I'm here all week. Tip your waiters and waitresses.
I mean, look, if you're not feeling it, that's not the competition to, if it's like Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets, okay, well, I'll just kind of like. But this one's going to have a little more digestive discomfort to it. Like,
yeah.
This is a task.
Yeah.
More than just, hey, we're eating steamed dumplings today.
Right.
Okay, sweet.
I love steamed dumplings.
I do too.
That's a weakness.
I actually have never tried the reverse sear. I'm fine with the way I do things, and I don't have a reason to change. I'm probably being a little whatever with this, but
I've had it. It's fine. I prefer the other way, but I like steak.
Why do you prefer the other way?
Because it just tastes better to me.
Oh, really? The actual taste, not the cooking.
Right. And the hot take, I like steak. You're going to have a hard time doing steak in a way that I'm not going to at least enjoy it to some degree. So whatever.
We were discussing it before we started the show. I'm kind of just getting to the first break in a little bit, and then we'll talk portal. Everybody has this with teams that are not overly successful. Neal told me if I was still caring about the Saints last night would have broken me.
Yeah.
And now, look, they were already out of the play. Well, I mean, I guess they kind of weren't because that division sucks.
They weren't out of it at all. No.
But when you know
they were up 16-3 with 3 minutes to go, and they were about to be very much in the race in the shittiest, part of my language, the worst division in the NFL.
But when you know that you have zero possibility of winning a playoff
game. That's true. Well, you're not going to the Super Bowl.
I mean, yeah, I guess you can win a game. Sure, everybody can win a game. But I wasn't really in the mood of being the sideshow 4 seed, playing whatever NFC East apparently team you would be playing in the Eagles or the Cowboys in the first round.
And likely getting smoked.
Well,
but
Andy Dalton is my quarterback.
Sometimes it's Jameis Winston.
Or Jameis Winston is my quarterback. And yet, as you said, if the coaching was a little better, they would be winning the division with Andy Dalton or Jameis Winston as their quarterback.
No, you misquoted me. No, it's not what I said. I said if the coaching were serviceable, you would win the division.
Same thing.
If the coaching were passable, You know that like the course you took in college that was like brutal, and you're like, okay, I started out, the goal was to make an A, and now the goal is just to make a C.
Sure.
If you just made a C, hell, if you made a D, you'd run away with the division. You're losing to a 45-year-old man that for the first 57 minutes of that game looked 45.
He appeared to have zero interest in that game last night until the end when you just handed it to him. The Saints had a 97% chance of winning with 3:25 to go.
Mark Ingram runs out of bounds a yard short of the sticks. At least when the kid for Auburn did it, you could go, well, he's a college kid. You got to be aware, right? There has to be awareness. It's a team that's not mentally prepared to play football. And that's on the coaching staff. It's on the players. It's on everybody, but it's organizational.
Allen asking the question that Neal and I were discussing beforehand. I do not believe they move on from Dennis Allen at the end of the year. I don't. They should, but I don't. Very rarely fire the guy after 1 year. They're also going to let their emotions get into it a little bit. He's been around the team for a long time, member of the franchise. They kind of went out on a limb, giving it to him to begin with. You have the easy ability to be stubborn.
You also have the ability to take a deep breath and to look at it and go, this didn't work. It's not going to work. And let's look at what's working. Let's look at the Minnesota Vikings. Let's look at the Miami Dolphins. Let's look at what's working. Let's go that route. It's a copycat league. Let's copy the cats. The good news is you have that early pick, and so, who knows? A quarterback might fall. Wait, you traded it.
Yeah, there's no draft picks. The Saints and the Rams don't really believe in draft picks. That's not how we operate. It's not how we do things around here. The Saints are going to have a, number 4, number 5, number 6 draft pick, and it's going to the 11-1 Philadelphia Eagles. It's a good day to be the GM of Philadelphia.
Oh, they're living right.
I mean, he's watching last night with his feet kicked up and went, I'll be damn, another loss, huh?
How about that? Good for you, Tom Brady.
He had a Bucs jersey on last night.
Oh, for sure.
Every week, just rooting against the Saints. Hey, get that bad boy on down there.
Saints are done. What are they, 4-9 now? They're done.
They are. Yeah, I mean, all jokes aside, I mean, the defense has played okay most weeks. Kamara has been frankly bad this year. Now, he has no passing game help.
No.
I'm going to defend him, but he has not been his normal self either.
There's a thread on the message board, rebelgrove.com. Be a great Christmas gift. By the way, we need to put that link out for Christmas gifts.
Yeah, we do gift subscriptions.
Yeah, we need to put that out. There's a thread on the board about the NFL, and one of the people in the thread, and I can't remember who, I would give credit if I could remember, very astutely pointed out that one of the things that's happened in the NFL that's made it different this year is, well, it's twofold. One, offensive line play is down a bit because defensive line play is so good. And two, everyone's playing this kind of cover 6 that takes away the big play. And so it's like watching the Kansas City-Cincinnati game the other day. If you love professional football, it was a great game. But if you want big plays, you were frustrated with it because both teams' defenses said, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to gamble that somewhere over 12 plays, you'll make a mistake. We're going to make you drive the field. And you're getting a lot of that. And so scoring's down. And so people go, the NFL's boring. I think it's actually the opposite of boring, but I get why people feel that way. If you're there for big plays and all that stuff, you're not getting as much of that.
Yeah, it's more methodical. No, the Saints are in a weird spot because here's the deal too. They still have cap issues. They're still going, and I get everybody can kind of fix their cap and just keep kicking. I mean, I do think some of the cap talk is overplayed because if you got guys willing to kind of move some money around, it's not the end of the world. But they are going into a rebuild. That's the other thing too. Is it's going to take a minute, and there needs to be. Maybe not some. I don't think in the NFL you're no longer doing this. Hey, 5 years we're going to suck thing. You can't do that.
Right.
But at the same time, there is a bit of a reset, and it's. Are you finding their coach going into the reset, or are you just kind of resetting and then figuring out what works best from there? Because look, he got me a Super Bowl, but Mickey Loomis is a little overrated as a GM too.
Oh, a lot.
I mean, yeah, it's not.
I mean, he had his moment.
Yeah,
but his moment does not appear to be now.
It appears to be over. It appears to be quite over at this point. And I think you're right. I mean, I think in the NFC, it's Eagles, Cowboys, and then probably Vikings.
Yeah,
kind of where you're sitting. I mean,
yeah.
The Cowboys are gonna be the 5, but they're gonna get that NFC South team. So it's not as stupid as a road as it would be if you had 4 capable division winners.
But listen, again, I'm not trying to pile on Dak Prescott here, but he's going to have to go to Tampa and win that game before I completely buy
it. That's true.
Excuse me.
That is a really critical game for him right there.
Yes, he's going to have to
on the road in Tampa against a bad team.
But Tom Brady, let him hang around, and Tom Brady gets interested and has another fourth quarter. It's happened a few times this year.
I get what Brady did. I understand.
No, it was the Saints.
The Saints blew the
Saints blew
football game.
Yeah.
The time management was as bad as you will ever see in an NFL game.
It was horrendous.
They lost the game.
It was a fire the coach on the tarmac game.
Ooh.
I mean, it really was.
Ooh.
It was. That can't happen at the NFL level. Too many people are in your ear about time and about stuff. You can't mismanage a game that poorly. Up 13 with 3.5 to go, you win the game.
Tom Brady broke Peyton Manning's record for most fourth-quarter comebacks in NFL history. That was his 44th fourth-quarter NFL comeback.
He's had a career.
It is only the second time that he has come back from 13 or more points down in the fourth quarter. Sorry, Falcons, on what the other one is. 28-3 would be the other time that's happened.
Be hard to get over that one.
You still could. I mean, I
no.
It's the only time where I do have a little bit of sympathy for Falcons fans, and I'm like, God, you live with that every day. I mean, that's
tough.
It's the NFL version of the Arkansas foul ball. That's like,
hard to just completely get over it. There's only one way, and it's so hard to get to that one way. It's to win the whole thing.
You got to win. That's it. You got to win the whole thing. I mean, because we've talked about this 1,000 times, and I promise I'm moving on. I'm just kind of hitting a couple things from the day. I give Dave Van Horn credit because it would eat me alive every day. I'd wake up every day and go,
not sure it doesn't.
If you just could caught that one ball.
Sure.
Because your legacy is completely different.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about it a million times.
I know. I just can't.
I mean, if you look at his resume in totality and just let that one ball get caught, you're like, oh, this dude's a legend.
It's why, and I've had some Ole Miss fans that have the whole Arkansas rivalry thing going, how'd you like whatever? And I was like, no, there was like a really empathetic moment in that press conference when they're out because he's trying to tell his team, you guys went to Omaha, and that's a success.
Sure.
We ended here. I'm never going to cry or get upset about ending in Omaha was his quote. Ending in Omaha was his quote.
Mm-hmm.
But he knew that had he won the game, they were going to beat Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And he's going, I've got another year here where he just missed. Just one game. One pitching performance.
Sure.
2 runs.
And his team played well that day.
Never mind. Yeah.
I mean, the kid.
Connor Nolan was damn good.
He was good. I mean, they didn't choke.
No. They just lost. Lost a baseball game.
The other kid was just better. Your kid was really good. The other kid was just a little better. Is Nolan, where did he go? Did he get drafted?
He did get drafted. I don't know where.
Yeah,
he's gone.
He's one of those kids that if you told me he's a middle reliever in the major leagues for 10 years, I'd buy it.
He'll throw a little harder at the major league level.
Yeah. Competitive as hell.
Really good breaking stuff.
Yeah. Smart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You think middle reliever is the...
Probably doesn't have enough stuff to be a starter.
Yeah.
But he's got everything else to... Both of those kids in that game. If you told me both of those kids pitched in the bigs for a while, I'd buy it.
Bubba McQueen, thank you for the super chat as always. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean it was that last quote. I mean you saw Dave Van Horn. He was asked because he was an Oklahoma writer, and he was like, "Hey, Oklahoma's really set up. You got Cade Horton, whatever." And he kind of goes, "Yeah, they're really good." And he kind of like sighed. He goes, "I just don't think it matters." And like he literally just kind of put his head down and sort of went,
"Yeah."
And that was that. Trey Turner, 11 years, $300 million with the Philadelphia Phillies. Good at everything. Offense, defense, runs the bases. Actually, per year, a little low probably given what people thought his market rate was, around $27 million on a per year deal there. But an enormous, huge contract that
So a lot of people think that it was done 11 years to bring the AAV down so that they could stay under some future caps.
Okay.
That it's really basically an 8-year deal.
Oh, really?
That they'll eat some money in the last 3 years because by then they might be playing with the silly money.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, does that shape the market at all for Carlos Correa, for Xander Bogaerts, for Dansby Swanson?
And it shouldn't shape it in an AAV standpoint because it didn't go crazy on that. It was like you said, it was a contract manipulation.
Yeah. And then all eyes are on Aaron Judge today, and I was listening to Andy McCullough and Mark Carrig, two of the best baseball writers in the world.
They are.
And they were saying, hey, we thought this would be a crazy contract. It might be even crazier. I mean, the assumption is he's going to go back to the Yankees, but the money might just be silly.
Yeah.
I mean, of course it's silly. I mean, you're paying one person $300 million.
That equals silly.
My God. But
yeah,
like some people think he might get $450.
Yeah, you're
$500,
paying,
$500 million.
You're paying $300 for a couple of ligaments that could go at any time.
Yeah, it's like the Rangers and the Jacob deGrom contract. You're like, oh, boy, I get it. You're in, but
Verlander, a Met.
But see, that was a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
And so
that's fine.
The risk on that, I mean, whatever.
That was good for both parties.
Yeah, it makes
Got
sense.
no issue with either side of that. So.
Kate called, though, and she said she's not happy about it. She said, I'm not going to New York with him. And I said, well, Kate, you can't. No. That ship has sailed.
You had your opportunity.
Yeah, I'm like, don't know what to tell you. She was distraught.
She'll go find a lighter blue and orange jacket and wear it proudly.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
They're going to be okay.
They'll be all right. We'll get some football in a second. First, podcast brought to you by the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation. The Rebels headed to Houston to play the Red Raiders of Texas Tech in the 2022 Tax Act Texas Bowl. God, I hate that name. On December 28th at 8 o'clock Central. To have your priority seats reserved, you can request your order by Friday, December 9th at 5 p.m. They're on sale now at OleMissTix.com. And then also to continue their efforts to make Ole Miss a premier destination for athletes and students alike. The Ole Miss Athletics Foundation announcing the Morgan Wallen Tour, the one night at a time, coming to Oxford on Saturday, April 22nd. It's going to be the first ever concert inside Vaught Hemingway Stadium. They're expecting to sell out. Tickets available for public sale on Friday, December 16th. Also, to get those tickets, that's OleMissTix.com. And just a reminder that with it coming to the calendar end of the year, if you need a little help with taxes to adjust your year-end giving, you can do that right now. Also through Ole Miss Athletics. You can visit the websites give2athletics.com or championsnowolemmiss.com or just simply call the office at 662-915-7159.
By the way, they're pointing out in the thread that Nolan got drafted by the Cubs.
There you go. Okay. There you go.
There you go. See?
You got Nolan and Horton.
Yeah. I read a story about Horton the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, they're pretty juiced about him.
Oh, the Rapsodo numbers are off the charts.
They're like baseball nerds, you know, that study the spin rates and all the stuff and how they think he's got a chance.
Yeah.
And also the kid that was committed to Ole Miss.
Jackson Ferris.
They're excited about him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's your college baseball update here on December the 6th. You're welcome, everybody. Walk-On Sports Bistro puts everything they've got into bringing you game day with the taste of Louisiana. Dig into their mouth-watering, made-from-scratch Louisiana cuisine, po' boys, gumbo, voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads, all in front of 70-plus TVs, 40-plus ice-cold beers on tap. Check them out in Oxford or Ridgeland today. Still wondering about what to do about those last-minute stocking stuffers? Need a gift for that random relative or goofy friend that gets you something and you aren't usually prepared to return the favor? Dead Soxy has you and their feet covered. Head over to deadsoxy.com. Use the code Rebel Grove at checkout for savings exclusive to Dead Soxy's partners. That's right. Rebel Groves gets you 30% off and free shipping on all orders. No minimum. Deal is not available to the general public. Happy holidays from Dead Soxy, and as always, stay Soxy. The College Corner is your one-stop Rebel shop, 2 locations in the Jackson area, one in Flowood, one in Ridgeland. You can also visit the College Corner at collegecornerstore.com. Plus, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram. They have the largest selection of Rebel gear in Central Mississippi. Brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, different names, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, get in touch with the people at Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, get in touch with the people at Southern, 662-429-4429. A-Stock Auctions is a Nashville-based online auction company with the mission to provide customers the power to name their price. All items at A-Stock start at just $1. That's right, every item starts at just $1. Shop now at astock.bid or download their app. Name your price on thousands of items from big-name retailers. A-Stock Auctions has multiple locations around Nashville that offer local pickups, so don't miss out. If you want it, bid it, win it. And we're brought to you by our friends at Solutions RX. It's a probiotic, multivitamin, and supplement company created by Ole Miss Pharmacy alum Chris Corneliuson. It's pharmaceutical grade, manufactured right here inside Mississippi. They've got multiple products, including prescription support, which we've talked about a lot, all sorts of vitamins, supplements. Just go to their website. They're available in local independent pharmacies across the U.S., including across Mississippi. But you can also just go to the website, solutionsrx.com. Check it out. And when you go to checkout, enter promo code OEP and get 10% off your first order.
Podcast is brought to you by Style Assembly, Oxford's newest women's boutique on the square. Clothing, jewelry, shoes, purses, sunglasses, accessories, and much more. They're having a big weekend holiday sale on Friday, December 9th, Saturday, December 10th. Everything in the store will be 30% off. And if you're a podcast listener, a rebelgrove.com member, you can mention this ad at checkout and get another 10% off. So that's 40% off on Friday or Saturday. Take care of all your holiday needs. And don't forget to have the special ladies in your life fill out a wish list at the store. Kate, the owner, and her team will leave it on file. So all you have to do is call or stop by, choose something off the list, get the exact gifts that she wants down to the correct colors and sizes. They'll even gift wrap for you and ship straight to your door in time for Christmas. So stop by the store, 203 North Lamar in Oxford, 662-638-3163. DM them at Shop Style Assembly on social media to place an order as well. Just saw it flash through for local people. The Oxford Christmas Parade was postponed yesterday because of the rain. It is now on Friday at 6:30. Just FYI on that for anybody who had not previously seen that message. So, from an Ole Miss standpoint, nothing shocking as far as who has gotten into the portal. I think at least 10 or 11 players have said their intentions to get into the portal from Ole Miss. I don't know what's official. Rivals has instituted a lot of new software, a lot of new pages for the portal. You can go to our portal tracker. They've got rankings and that kind of stuff to stay up to date as people officially head into the portal. They are trying to wait till the paperwork is actually filed, not because somebody intended to go into the portal.
Which is the responsible thing to do.
They have to get on the list before we go there.
Not many people. So when I say this is a vast minority. But the people that were like, the rankings are, I'm like, well, hold up. Let's
give it a minute.
Let's at least give them a couple days here to let the thing sort out. Because here's the thing. Let me find these numbers.
Yeah.
I know exactly where it is. There it is. Yesterday at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, so 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, 722 players had entered the transfer portal in a single day. You say, is that a big number? It is. It exceeds the all-time previous high of 270 that was set on November the 21st.
So 3 times, basically.
Basically 3 times. Yeah, literally, almost a little more than 3 times. 62 of those players as of late afternoon were quarterbacks. 62 quarterbacks.
Including some that are decent. I think some names that are all right.
It's just in one day, 62.
Yeah, it's not all over because some paperwork doesn't get filed quickly. Some people have more decisions. I mean,
there are schools.
We're nowhere near done.
No, there are schools that are intentionally dragging their feet because they want to punish other schools for tampering. which is good luck.
So you make them wait another 48 hours.
Yeah.
There's a rule on how quickly you have to file, but you can get up to that number.
Because the school can't go visit a player until he's official.
It is the portal version of when media would file, or anybody in the public would file a Freedom of Information Act, and the school or the entity would have like 14 days to respond, and they'd wait till like 13 and a half and then send you some innocuous question that's actually not a question just to prolong it and set another thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I completely answered that in the thing. You're streaming me along here trying to delay.
And there's some pettiness in that, and it happens.
Yeah.
And most of it's not directed at the kid. It's directed at the people that are trying to recruit the kid. Which tells you that a lot of the kids that got in yesterday were kids that the school didn't care.
Here's the deal. You've seen a couple things, and I'm trying not to be old man yelling at cloud. We're seeing a lot of kids that have no interest in developing at all. They don't play as a freshman, and they jump in the portal immediately. There's no development. There's no realistic advice to what you really look like on the depth chart and what the situation is and what is maybe in your best interest, medium and long term. You've got kids using the portal as leverage to get paid by their own school, including, we know of precise examples at multiple schools where kids basically said, play me or I'm leaving, and I will go get in the portal immediately.
Yes.
Contributors.
You mean
to wait you out or no?
it happened at Ole Miss.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. It happened. Look, all these. Look.
Yeah.
Here's the truth.
Yeah, sure.
If you take a program such as Ole Miss, an SEC top 25 national program, and those things happen at Ole Miss,
God knows.
Well, it tells you that it's happening everywhere.
Yeah,
sure. If you were to put all the coaches in a room and go, all right, just for today, no rivalries, no bitter feelings. Let's talk about what's going on.
They'd all raise their hand.
They'd all go, okay, well, let me tell you about this. And anyway, go ahead. You were making up.
No, my point of this is, look, and it's two different conversations, so I'll say this and then table this part of it. There is so much leverage to the players and everything that's going on right now in college football that there'll be these stories or these thoughts of, oh, God, poor people who got in the portal and didn't get another offer and they're stuck with nowhere to go. I don't care. That's life. You made a bad decision. You've got leverage everywhere else. You pay for plays legal. You can do all these things. If you make a shitty decision and get into the portal, that's your own fault.
Yeah,
I do not care at all. Like to me, it's almost where when I see that number, in some ways, I kind of want that number to be really high of kids who end up with not landing spots.
The one thing I have a question about, and I don't know the answer, and it would be different at different programs, but where a program made an evaluation mistake and the kid doesn't want to leave, how many of the kids that are getting in the portal are being told, hey, Johnny, you need to hop in the portal because we're not renewing your scholarship. You're not good enough.
There's some of that.
I have a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's where I feel for the kid. Now the rest of it, hey.
But that happens anyway a lot of times in
does.
Other ways. And again, that's literally the only way the school has any leverage at all. And I'm not defending the corporation here or playing, the man. But, you know what I mean? I mean, hell,
sure.
The kids, there is 85 players on every team who are annual free agents.
Yes.
No other league in the world would go, hey, this is good or cool or anything else. This is stupidity.
I've said this before, and it sounds like I'm arguing with Lane Kiffin, and I'm not. I'm just pointing out where he's – and I think he would sit there and go, well, I just didn't feel like answering it in that detail. But, yes, I think he would agree with me.
Yeah, he was very general.
Lane will say, we're professional sports. Yeah. And I'm like, well, except for the fact that you're not.
They have these things called contracts that keep you within your own organization for multiple years.
Well, let's use Trey Turner, for example. Major League Baseball is a professional sport. Trey Turner had to get to a place where he could become a free agent.
That's correct.
And then he signed a contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers or got traded to the Dodgers or whatever. He couldn't become a free agent to go back. He wanted to go back east. Both he and his wife are from the East Coast. He wanted to play for a team that trains in Florida and that plays the majority of its games on the East Coast. So he went to Philadelphia. He and Bryce Harper, very good friends from their days together at the Nationals. So he wanted to play for the Phillies. The Phillies gave him a contract, but he couldn't leave the Dodgers 2 years ago to go to Philadelphia because he had a contract that obligated that he play for the Dodgers unless the Dodgers traded his rights.
Right.
I realize I'm talking, and I'm not talking down to people, but when people, so college football is professional. No. College football would be if every contract in the NFL at the end of the season was, hey, you're up. You're up.
And
you had a hot year, go shop yourself. Dansby Swanson had to play out his Braves contract to become a free agent.
Yeah, no. College football is not professional. College football is anarchy. There's nothing.
It's silly right now. This
it's a problem.
It is.
Look, I don't know what the long-term answer is.
There's a hot button. I'll throw this word at you because here's the word. If you talk to football people, and I did yesterday a little bit, just with people randomly having some fun, DMs, text, the word that keeps coming up is sustainable. So I'll throw this to you. Is this sustainable? If so, how? And if not, why not?
No, it's not sustainable. Look, it's been my drumbeat for a while. This goes for a lot of different things. This goes for attendance. This goes for NIL. This goes for transfer portal with the way that it currently is set up. Frankly, it goes with some of the stuff going on with coaches and contracts and things because schools don't – Colorado just hired a coach who is building a staff paying a lot of money to the assistants where they do not have the money. Think about that in any other business. But as somebody in Ole Miss told me recently, it's all monopoly money. Like it doesn't it exists, but it's not – it's never healthy.
But at some point, it has to go beyond monopoly money because you do have to put the check into the
so it's a problem.
Into the account, right?
Yeah. All these things together are diminishing a product. And this doesn't mean that the 1980s version of college football or the 2002 college football was perfect or better or anything else. But if you told me that even beyond a lot of the concussion or the physical stuff or any kind of socioeconomic things that come from that, if you told me in 25 years football is substantially different, I think it's more to do with what's going on right now. Because fans, think about this. We said this a lot. Fans are the ones that get hit by all this stuff. They don't know the players as well because they're constantly moving through. One of the reasons why you pull for the laundry is because you get to know the kids and you care about them, even if your team's not winning national championships. Ole Miss fell in love with that 2012 football team because they really cared about Bo Wallace and all those dudes and getting them to Birmingham and how you build on that. And, Laramie Tunsil shunned Georgia and Alabama, and he comes to Ole Miss, and we love LT and all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
You don't know these kids at all. They're all mercenary.
They all,
whether they are or not, all have mercenary scarlet letters on at this point, and you're just running them in and out. There's no connections. That 6-year-old kid's not pulling for the same guys as an 8-year-old and seeing them grow up and the freshman and the sophomore and the junior and all that stuff. Yeah, NIL's going on and kids can get paid, but it's not the schools doing it. It's a fan tax. It's up to the player. It's up to the it's not the organization like the Dodgers paid Trey Turner for how many every years. This is the fan base paying these people to do these things. It's all these different deals. It's harder to get into games. It's more expensive. It's long. There's been nothing done in the last 10 years for college football that has benefited the fan more than it did before that. And at the end of the day, they're the engine, not even the players. The fans are the engine because if there's no money, there's no team. So at some point, this is the crack in the dam that we kind of look at and go, hey, is that thing going to split open at some point? It's cool right now. We can put some chewing gum in there and cover it up. But what's that look like in 10 years? Yeah, but Bo played 3 years at Ole Miss. It's...
But there was a difference, and I'm not old man yelling cloud because I've always said I'm basically for this. Whatever, it's fine. I knew it would be a mess, and it's a mess. But in the old days, a transfer, Bo had to sit a year. Like Bo had to go to a community college.
Yeah,
he had to leave the stage for a year. Even from Arkansas State to go to whether it was going to be Ole Miss or Mississippi State or Texas or whatever, he was going to have to go exit stage right for a year. Whether it was to transfer and sit or to go to a junior college. So you had to at least think. Now it's just, hey, I'm going to transfer out. I'm going to leave this school in December, and I'm going to show up in January. And they are. They're going to show up in January.
And kids, whether they get them or not, because I don't know. I'm not sourced on this. They're going to ask for waivers on a second portal opportunity.
Yes.
There'll be kids asking for a third transfer at some point.
Well, that's coming. They're going to get it someplace first year, transfer, ask for a waiver, and then get a grad transfer waiver.
Yeah.
And that's where you get, you have a sport full of middle relievers. You know what I mean?
I'm just not.
The middle reliever is just on a series of 1-year deals where 1 year he's pitching for Houston, and the next year he's pitching for Philadelphia, and the next year he's pitching in Seattle. And you're like, okay, but in all of those teams, like if you're an Astros fan, that Altuve jersey, that Bregman jersey, you've had it for a while. You know what I mean? If you're a Mariners fan, that Julio Rodriguez jersey, it's probably safe for 6 to 9 years. I mean, I live in a house with a kid who's a big Oklahoma City Thunder fan, and they're a little better than they need to be right now. But the reason for that is because of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and he just signed a long-term deal with the Thunder. He's going to be with the Thunder in all likelihood for another 5-6 years. So as a fan, you can attach your heartstrings a little bit to that.
Yeah, the 9-year-olds that are Braves fans have several jerseys that they're cool with through 13 or 14.
Had Freddie Freeman for a long time.
Yeah. Acuna, Riley,
all those guys. I mean, we talk about Swanson, but Swanson was a Brave for, 5-6 years? And could potentially re-sign and stay there for another 5, 6, 7 more. College football, it was always a 4-year window, but now there's a lot less of that.
Well, I'm going to set this up, and then we'll go to break. We'll come back. I get how crazy coaches' contracts happen, because typically crazy coaches' contracts happen on this race that's in the media to hire this guy that's going to turn your program around and all this stuff, at least from a perception standpoint. Or you're coming off this big season and, God, we can't lose him, and there's this fear-based thing, and that's what we're doing. And
I got one.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to touch it. Sammy makes a great question, and I have an answer. It says, from a pure sports media standpoint, isn't the portal the best thing that could ever have happened? The new hot stove league. Except, look at the coverage yesterday. And maybe I missed some. There's a lot of people that do a lot of coverage of the transfer portal. Nobody is talking about the money. It's taboo. For whatever reason, we are intent on protecting these kids from, hey, we're not going to discuss what their NIL package is.
Yeah, and I've got a correlation to that. We'll hit that next. That's a good bigger topic. Because it plays into my last thought here before we go to break. Is that who says the kids will have all this damn leverage? Why? Where are they going? I mean, we've done this thing of, oh my God, you cannot harm the kid. But the kids are key cogs in really big businesses. Now, look, the schools were way too far the other way. The schools made a ton of money off the kids that they shouldn't have made, and it was crap, and I understand why we fixed that to whatever degree we did. I get that. But it's also asinine that we go, nope. The kids just have 100% of the leverage, and sorry, if they want something, we just have to do it, bow down.
Yeah.
That makes no freaking sense at all.
Well, that was a summer of 2020 thing.
Yeah. It makes no sense.
That's what it was.
It's ridiculous.
It was a summer of 2020 thing.
And it's going to break the sport, maybe sooner than later. Or they'll fix it. We'll talk about that coming up. Prime Shrimp, primeshrimp.com, 7 different flavors available now for you, including their New Orleans-style barbecue shrimp. It's the latest offering that is available now. They rushed it out, have it available for purchase. It can be shipped to you there in a couple days straight to your door. In the 10 minutes, freezer to plate with Prime Shrimp. They got a lot of activities, a lot of stuff. It gets dark early. Let them take care of dinner. They can do that for you with any of their different offerings, including their 2-pound bags of individually frozen shrimp. It's a lot like what's at the grocery store, except it's a higher quality shrimp from the New Orleans-based company. And use code MPW for $20 off your first order. That's $20 off with MPW at primeshrimp.com.
Game Changer patches are the only 2-patch system available in the market to stop hangovers before they start. The warm-up patch used before or while you drink. The overtime patch used after you've been drinking to recover while you sleep. The all-natural ingredients will keep you in the game, ready for the next play. Go to GameChangerPatch.com, promo code RebelGrove20 at checkout for 20% off your purchase. ACS is owned by my buddy Clay McNutt in Baldwin, Mississippi. It's a complete electrical control system solution provider. It's a Rockwell Automation recognized system integrator. ACS has you covered if they can service and install Rockwell Automation, Allen Bradley, Siemens, ABB, Square D, and many other manufacturers. Go to acsllcms.com or call 662-601-4381 to learn more. We're brought to you by Lammons Fine Jewelry. Lammons at 1126 North Lamar Boulevard in Oxford. They've been serving the Oxford area for 3/4 of a century. Great service, great products. They're going to take great care of you when you go in. Fine jewelry, watches, pearls, fashion jewelry, great gift ideas. It's the gold standard in fine jewelry. Visit them at lammonsfinejewelry.com or call them at 662-234-2777. I'll be leaving for the road to Boise here pretty soon. That's brought to you by my friend John Edwards at Regency Travel Incorporated. What we did was we just gave him a budget. Said, here's how much we have to spend. We can't go over this. Here's the number. Here's some parameters. Here's the dates. See what you can do. And he did. He can do it for you too. Just get in touch with him. Do that. Give him a budget. It's the big thing. Give him a budget. Give him some parameters, and then sit back. And you'll enjoy not having to worry about it. He'll plan it, make it a trip that you'll remember for the rest of your life. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. Also brought to you by Pinnacle. Pinnacle, home to the Pinnacle 401k Advisory Services team. They'll conduct a complimentary, no-obligation benchmarking and analysis of your current 401k plan. It's mypinwealth.com, MYPINN wealth.com.
Podcast is brought to you by Johnson Hill Creamery, johnsonhillcreamery.com. Go to the website because you can order everything right there off of that between your favorite dips, condiments, and much more. And their holiday menu is active. All you need is 24 hours notice to take care of that. It makes great teacher's gifts with some of their options and more when you're trying to figure out what to do. Their holiday artisanal box that features some different cheeses. That's got orange rosemary marmalade, some mixed nuts, and a cheese knife in it. Their charcuterie box, which is my favorite. They also do cookies for Santa. There's a 1 mix of 3 different flavors there with shortbread, brown butter and miso, chocolate chip, and gingerbread, and a kids box to take care of the children in your life also. So again, that's johnsonhillcreamery.com. They make all their cheeses locally and in-house every day. Stop by or give them a call at 662-419-9201. I mean, look, okay. Here's an example.
All right.
And I'm not making fun. I mean, I understand why he has put a lot of tech into this. He is a visionary in our business. I'll give him credit. Shannon Terry on 3.
Okay.
They do this NIL valuation thing. It's one of the main things that they have really taken off and done that the other 2 networks, 24/7 and Rivals, have not done. They put NIL valuations on the profiles of all the prospects around the country. It's this formula based off social media and all this stuff and whatever. And it's a cool talking point, and it's fine, and it's whatever. Here's the problem. It's complete and utter bullshit. Because, well, I mean, it is.
Well, that's a major problem.
It is. Because, no matter how many Instagram followers that kid has, his valuation, if he goes to Alabama, is different than if he goes to South Alabama or LSU or A&M or Ole Miss or anywhere. I mean, that is completely separate from whatever. And if anything else, it's frankly a problem for the industry because the kid looks up and goes, hold on a minute, that right there on the internet says I'm worth this. And you're going, well, you're not, because there's 1,000 reasons why you're not. Or you're worth a ton more if you play better. It has nothing to do. Quinshawn Judkins is not worth more money today because his Twitter following blew up.
No, he's worth.
That had nothing to do with it.
He's worth more money because
he runs a football really well.
Did he lead the SEC?
He led the
in
SEC in rushing.
I mean,
that's why he's worth more
in
money.
a league that had Gibbs and Sanders, he led the league in rushing. That's why his values.
So they're low, they're high, they're all these things. I mean, I've got it here a second. Don't let me lose my point. I have a point here. I mean, Shannon Terry, this was a second ago. Twitter, let me think of it. He tweets in the last 20 minutes. New era is here. Athletes will now have access to proprietary NIL data, recruiting and transfer data, access to their profiles, see revenue deals, and interact with other athletes. Launches today. They're on 3 is doing this athlete-only subscription thing. Okay, whatever, fine. Point being, what? Because 2 things. 1, none of this is public. You can't actually see the other deals that everybody's doing. There's still under-the-table money. There's still fine print. I mean, a lot of these contracts, let's be real honest, a lot of these contracts can just be torn up and not legal at all. Or they're legal, but they're breakable. And then, but to your point and where I'm getting here, and I give Shannon a lot of credit for he tries a lot of crap, and he's okay to try new stuff. Credit to him for that. This one's not working. But so let's take on 3. And again, if they've done this, if any of those guys have done it, I missed it, cool. But NIL valuation is a huge part of your site, yet nobody asks the players what they're getting.
Never.
And it's front-facing. I mean, at least with Rivals, we're not really doing that. We're not going, hey, God, here's how much you're going to be worth.
But as God is my witness, it is I've got where I'm DMing the question. Hey, saw where Ole Miss offered? Did they talk to you about NIL package? If so, how much? And you know what the response to that will be? You're an ass. Yet, hold up, full circle. We're professional sports. That's what the coaches say. All right, well, I'm going to tell you this. When you write the Trey Turner sign with Philadelphia story yesterday and you leave out the money, your editor calls you and goes, hey, you left out the most important part.
Yeah, we just don't think we should talk about that.
It's really none of our business how much Trey gets. No, it's absolutely it's shaping the market, right? It's shaping the market. We're hearing that at the college game. Well, if Quinshon Judkins gets this, okay, what's the difference? And if Trey Turner gets this, is Scott Boras?
Well, look, I don't know the entry point here, and maybe I'm pissing off Walker and William when I say this. There should be a certain level. That's whistle. There should be a certain level of it all. This is not about Ole Miss across the country. A certain level of entry where you should have access to every deal because where's my money going? I should be able to get the books and know where this kid goes and this kid goes and how much you're paying Judkins or Evans or Dart or the kid at State that's Tula Griffin and like all those guys. I mean, like
it's completely.
And I think there is, by the way, but that is my point is that that should be accessible.
And it's completely gotten away. I'm tired of even calling it NIL. It's not NIL, and I do it too.
It's completely not NIL.
It's completely not NIL.
It is not what we had NIL shaped as when it started.
This is salary.
That's yes.
Salary. This is
1980s SMU is going. We were pioneers.
Well, they were. I mean,
they had bookkeeping, they had lists,
But for whatever reason, the big national people that cover our sport, that we primarily cover, they don't talk about it. It's coming up with basketball. Coming up, there's going to be a conversation about Ole Miss basketball, I strongly suspect, in the next couple of months, where it's going to be about, well, what do you do? And, I mean, my answer is going to be, do what you want to do, but until you fix the fact that you have a lower salary base for your players. And some of us have to start being a little more front-facing with the way we write it, the way we talk about it. We've got to stop calling it NIL. This is not name, image, license. This is not the Mason Brooks show, the Troy Brown show, where there's a clear transaction that occurs. We've got to get past that. We've got to talk about it openly. Call it what it is. Because if you're right, and you might be, you're far more in touch with the fan than I think I am. If you're right and this is turning off the fan, the sport's got to figure out a way because it's not going away. They're never going back to they're not getting paid. Never going back to, hey, we're just going to give you a Dodge Charger and a box full of cash. Good luck. No
PlayStation on the porch. I mean,
now it's the schools are promoting the collectives.
Mm-hmm.
So we're there. But it is time to kind of call it what it is.
And it's not.
Rod, which is Thomas, has all these offers. I mean, the rumor is he asked Mississippi State for a specific amount of money. And they said, no, not worth it. Okay. So when he signs or when he transfers to Georgia or Ole Miss or Auburn or Tennessee, or those are the 4 that I recall him sending out things they offered. Okay. So if he transfers to one of those places, is it a fair question to say, how much did you get? I think it's question number 1.
And were they all comparable, or did that play a role?
Yeah. Did all of the schools meet that number? And then if so, what did it come down to? Because
then it's recruiting again.
Did you ask for $500,000 from Mississippi State? Is that true? No, it's not true. How much did you ask for? Or yes, it's true. Okay, so you are here at Ole Miss, Tennessee, Georgia. I'm presuming they gave you that amount of money? Or they give you more? Did it become a bidding war? Because good for you if it did. It's cool. I don't begrudge him making the money at all. Before anybody thinks that, hey man, make all you can make, because I don't want a limit on my salary. I don't want somebody to come in here and go, hey, Neal, this is as much as you can make. Why? I want to make more. I want to make more money. So I have no problem with him going, hey, Georgia,
and I guess that's the whole...
Georgia offered me 8. So before I commit to this, hey, Tennessee, can you give 9?
And I guess that's my point on this. Coming completely full circle on the major conversation is you don't get to have your cake and eat it too. If you get to have that money, then you got to talk about that money.
Agreed. 1,000%.
You don't get to go, no, I'm a student athlete. No, you're not.
Full circle. Trey Turner. No, seriously. Trey Turner just signed a $300 million deal from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
If he doesn't play well, is that going to be a talking point?
100%.
Jason Hayward signed that 8-year deal with the Cubs. It expires finally, thank God, at the end of this year.
They're still paying Jason Hayward.
One more year. Okay? Jason Hayward's a great guy. One of the nicest guys in baseball. He didn't play well. His contract hung over him his entire tenure in Chicago. If Jason Hayward's money, if his contract was never known, if it was private, people wouldn't have been that harsh on Jason Hayward. So, yeah, no, I have no issue with it. When you go, well, this quarterback didn't play well. Well, he certainly should. He's making X. Or, well, it's okay. He's not making but $10,000. What do you expect? That's kind of where I'm waiting for us. It's not. I'm not blaming the kids. I'm blaming kind of the media for not digging in on it more. And it's almost like, well, we just don't want to go there. Because why? Because he's 19. Well, Julio Rodriguez is 19. Some of the guys playing in the World Cup, 19, 20-year-olds. We know what they make when they sign with Liverpool or Chelsea or Barcelona or Sporting Portugal. We know what they make. But again, watch the reaction when on camera you ask a kid, hey, you transferred to Ole Miss. How much did you get? What was your NIL package? Watch the reaction on camera. It's going to be, oh no, we can't discuss that.
I do think you got a point, Hardman. I do think there's media out there that don't want to ruin the student-athlete fantasy, as he writes.
Well, there's no question about that. Zero doubt. But not all of us. And I'm not out to get anybody. I just think it's become a part of the story now. Very clearly, right? Quinshon Judkins had a big freshman year. We both know through sources that are close to the program that there was a concern in November that, hey, we've got to make sure we do what it takes to keep him. Hell, the head coach talked to Chris Lowe about it.
Yeah.
I'm worried that we're not be able to keep him. One of the reasons that Lane Kiffin thought about leaving Ole Miss was because he wasn't convinced that Ole Miss was going to have the resources to keep their good players. He wasn't talking about training table.
That was a simpler time, wasn't it?
He was talking about
money. Nebraska gets that extra breakfast.
He was talking about money.
God, I remember reporting that when Ole Miss went to a training table.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
Houston Nutt was like, we've got it. It wasn't that
because they were giving the stipends and the kids were going doing fast food and stuff with it.
Yeah, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids were getting the stipend and going to Taco Bell.
Yeah. That's right.
That was a story.
That was.
I mean, we've come a long way in a decade.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's the truth. So it's absolutely what's shaping the sport. I will say this because I got a number of things yesterday, and I was guilty of this as well. There's a lot of people like, where's the news? Where's the news? Well, there really isn't any news. Because two things. One, even though some guys probably know where they're going, they're being asked to keep it kind of quiet for a few days so that the tampering portal isn't just overly revealed. Mm-hmm. And then two, some guys, they're out in the portal, and maybe they thought they were going to go to, let's use MAC schools since those aren't applicable. Maybe they thought they were going to go to Toledo, okay? But suddenly Western Michigan just made a hell of an offer. Oh, I need to think about that. So they're going to take some visits. And then the other thing is a lot of schools don't want these getting announced before signing day because they don't want to scare off a freshman.
Yeah.
So you want to wait till the 22nd And then you can bring guys in January for visits, and they can just say, hey, if you're coming, come for your visit and just go ahead and pack. Bring your stuff.
Yeah, it's because look, let's be clear here. It's two things. I don't begrudge the kids for getting anything they can get. 100%, get it all. Don't care.
Sure.
But you can't hide behind it. That's it.
They are now, though.
Yeah.
They've done it so far.
And because what my point on the other thing was, it's not that NIL is scaring off all the fans or it's ruining it all in general. Salaries are ruining the fan experience. And look, I mean, college football is still healthy. I'm just seeing little cracks. That's all.
Yeah.
But it's not just that. It's everything. It's harder to go to games. It's more expensive. It's this. It's all you need is one reason to not care as much. And college football right now is giving you like 14 reasons to maybe not care.
In a sport,
that's all it takes.
In a sport that at the grassroots level is not as healthy as it was just 10 years ago.
No.
That's it. And those kids, they don't stay 10 and 11 forever.
You've had no run at Eastern Michigan yet or anybody?
I've had some success.
Oh, have you?
Working on some things. Actually, you've had some.
Who is the leader?
Eastern Michigan appears to be the leader, but this thing could change in a moment's notice. Because it's a simple deal. Listen, I'm offering free publicity.
Somebody can win by knockout immediately.
Yes. One punch. Done.
First come, first serve, done.
Free.
You do not care if you're wearing green or who are they playing?
San Jose State. Yellow and blue.
They are, yeah. Breeze went there for a minute, didn't he?
A very short cup of coffee.
With Mike McIntyre.
Yeah. Didn't like it out west.
Didn't even like move the U-Haul out
Had
there.
to return to the South. Just wasn't his style.
Well, it wasn't.
Have had some success. I'm feel guardedly, cautiously optimistic. I mean, I'm offering, especially at Eastern Michigan. I mean, I hope they're not listening right now. That they don't have a lot of pub anyway. Like, there's not a lot of coverage.
So you can move really high up the hierarchy quickly.
I mean, I'm just basically I'm offering to wear Eastern Michigan gear every day for a month.
I mean,
that's a lot. And then I said I'd get a helmet. Give me a helmet. I'll put it on our set.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I'll put it right there in front of me. I'll pet the helmet for every day for a month. I'll be on your side. I'll cheer for you. How many? I mean, look, the get-in price.
Oh, if they had collectives, you would tweet out collective.
Absolutely.
Links. You know, it's funny, Mark.
I did tweet
that.
happy birthday to one of their players yesterday.
That. Yes. Mark says, at what point do these just become professional teams and they lease the names from the school?
Ooh.
We're not there yet, but what is sad is I'm not disregarding your question. And I'm going,
Will you lease it out to like a corporation?
I
Alabama football brought to you by Mercedes?
I don't know. Or they run a whole different league and they just happen to be Ole Miss and Alabama and Auburn and whatever. Because, look, I don't know when this is, but it won't shock anybody is as basketball and football become what they are in these major leagues, the other sports become club sports that are funded differently through the university, the Olympic sports.
Is the day coming when, in addition to Nike or Under Armour or Adidas on the jersey, there's also a corporate sponsor?
Oh, I think we're close to that. I mean, other sports are doing that so often, they're normalizing it. Yeah, I think we're...
A Mercedes emblem on the Alabama helmet. A FedEx emblem on the Ole Miss helmet. On the jersey. Yeah.
Jersey.
Uh-huh.
Look like the NBA. Look like...
Yeah.
The NFL might need to take the plunge first, but they don't need to take the plunge, so that could hold it up.
But they don't have to.
No.
They're healthy as hell.
Yeah, they're good.
To their credit, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They probably look at this chaos and go, damn. Poor them.
Pat you on the head.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Meanwhile, what did Joe Burrow do yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Hey, we do still want our credential to come.
We need to scout the players.
Scout your dudes. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Podcast brought to you in part by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer medicine. For your prescriptions the same day each month and take care of you. One trip to the pharmacy, one delivery. You have everything you need when you need it with G&M. Also, good point, Ginger.
Yeah.
Also, You can transfer your medications with just one call, and they will take care of the rest. Again, that's GNM 662-236-2222.
Arkansas football brought to you by Walmart. Live better. Whitney McNutt of Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors is serving you for all of your real estate needs in Oxford and Tupelo. She sells condos, land, commercial, and residential family homes. 662-567-2573 or 662-842-3844. No picks this week. We'll have picks up again next week. We'll start picking some bowl games. That's brought to you by Service Specialist Staffing and Recruiting Agency, connecting great job opportunities to candidates since 1967. If your company is looking to hire quality, hard-to-find talent, Service Specialist can help. Payment of service is solely contingent on if you decide to hire a candidate that they send. You have nothing to lose, so give Will, Sydney, or Kelsey a call at 662-832-5138. Or check out their new and improved website, servicespecialistltd.com. Don't just accept what you see, but imagine something new. Step forward, chase after a better version of yourself. Every day, Corinth Dental is helping people reinvent themselves one smile at a time. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures, including Invisalign. These clear aligners are the virtually invisible way to improve your smile. Call Corinth Dental today for a no-cost digital scan of your teeth. Let them show you the way to a straighter, healthier smile. 12 months, no interest, no down payment financing available at corinthdental.com. If you're a displaced corporate executive or you're wanting to put your career in your own hands, or if you're an experienced entrepreneur looking to diversify, Andy Ledecky can help. He's a longtime Rivals board member, a diehard college football fan, franchise veteran. He owns multiple franchises and businesses. He uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. Call Andy. Put your life and career in your own hands. 100% free. Got nothing to lose. MyPerfectFranchise.net. Andy at MyPerfectFranchise.net or 404-973-9901. The get-in price in Boise is about $15.
Okay.
The temperature that day is now, we're still a couple weeks out, so it could change, but they're now starting to hint at snow in 24, 25.
That's okay.
It's okay. It'd be fine. But the point is that for Eastern Michigan or San Jose State, you're getting a free cheerleader.
And there won't be many.
I mean, probably not.
What was the attendance of the bowl last year?
These are questions I don't know the answers to.
What was it called? What's it called?
It's called the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, I think.
Is it really?
Pretty sure.
2021, because it's not a New Year's Day bowl?
No, it is not.
Who played in it?
I don't know.
You're really not helping much here. Sean Lewis was the losing coach in the game who just joined Deion Sanders as the offensive coordinator at Colorado. Wyoming beat Kent State last year in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. The attendance was 10,217.
Yeah. I mean,
where are your seats going to be?
I don't know. I'm trying to get a seat.
I understand that.
Now, the negative to that is that once you get down on the sideline, it's hard to get off the sideline and get to someplace warm. If you have a seat, look.
Yeah, what is the rules? Do you have to stay until the last zeros?
I got to stay till the end, but there's no rules that I can't go get in the line for another hot chocolate.
Oh, you don't have to stay in your seat.
If I have to go use the restroom, if I decide I need to go get a hot chocolate, if I just decide I want to walk the stadium and get a nice little tour, I can. Keep moving. That's what I learned at Oxford high school soccer games. When it's cold, move. Don't sit still and turn into a block of ice. Move.
Y'all made some good points, by the way, earlier in the stream. Cake is very overrated.
Big time.
Pie is much better than cake.
Yes.
It's not even.
Not close.
I mean, it's.
All right, the people are asking about Zach Evans.
You would be surprised.
It doesn't make sense unless Zach is getting a really bad NFL grade. And I don't know why Zach would be getting a bad NFL grade.
I mean, look, here's the deal, too. Walker and those guys should be doing contracts with Zach Evans and trying to take care of him, because if he stays, he's worth it. And if he doesn't, the contract gets torn up. It doesn't matter.
Right. And if you're Zach,
you're just doing your due diligence.
If you're Zach, you work out a deal, and then if you find out your NFL grade is second round or whatever, you go.
Yeah.
Hey,
good.
Peace.
Appreciate it. Cool.
I haven't seen the Twitter rumor, so I don't know who's proliferating the rumor or what's being said or how it's being done. So it's hard for me to comment on it.
Yeah. Quickly, I forgot about it. Northeast Spark, NESPRC, 100 BPS. That's the Ignite. It is available as well as the Gig. That is the Blaze. It is the fastest internet in Lafayette County. You can get that at nespark.com, 662-238-3159. They also do some phone service if you still have a landline. Neal had one for a long time. Parental controls, network security, and more. Also, if you're in Pontotoc or Union County, you did not previously have internet, they can help you out with that as well. So, again, that's 662-238-3159. The Heisman Trophy finalists have been named. Stetson Bennett from Georgia, Caleb Williams from USC, Max Duggan from TCU, and C.J. Stroud from Ohio State. I felt bad for Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, I do too.
Him getting injured made it where nobody voted for him, hence he wasn't invited.
Right.
It's a weird mechanism of the way the process
Injured
works.
in a blowout loss.
Yeah.
And then he didn't play.
Because you need some votes in the top three to actually get invited. So I feel bad for him because had he not gotten hurt, he would be there. And had they beaten South Carolina, I think he wins the thing. So an injury and a loss to a team that goes 8-4 probably killed the whole thing for him.
Probably so.
What's your guess on the order of these four?
I'll still guess Caleb Williams wins. I'll guess Dugan is second.
You think he's second now?
Yeah. I'll guess Stroud is third and Bennett's fourth.
It's an interesting thing because you are, as much as you can be, it's four guys from four different regions of the country, which we don't have very often. You have the Texas, the Southeast, the Midwest, and the West Coast.
Yeah. The Midwest typically votes as a block.
It is a very strong.
Although it's very difficult to justify Stroud after the Michigan game. It's hard to go there. For whatever reason, people don't give Stetson Bennett credit for what he's done because I think they go, well, anybody could step in at quarterback and get it done there. And maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I don't know that that's exactly fair. Dugan has a lot of late momentum. And then I think most people felt like over the balance of the season, Caleb Williams was the best player. But it is hard to put that last game completely out of your mind. And a lot of people voted after the last game as they beg you to do. They beg you to wait.
Yeah.
And so you wait, and that's your last taste.
Look, it's a stat that was done to benefit him, and I would not vote for Stetson Bennett to win the Heisman Trophy at all. His numbers against the AP Top 25 compared to the other people were mind-blowingly good and better than everybody else's.
Yeah.
In key games, much better.
Well, like Saturday, LSU went into that game. Look, and if you're LSU, you know you've got very little chance to win, right? So you have to have some sort of strategy. And we're going to give this a shot, and if it works out, awesome. And if it doesn't, well, we lost like we were supposed to lose. LSU went in and said, we're not going to let you run the football on us, Georgia. You're going to take the run away. You're not going to pound us all day long. And so Georgia went, okay, well, Stetson will throw it everywhere. And it worked. They scored a bunch of points in the air. And yet he gets no credit for it. We all go, boy, their tight ends are awesome. And they are. But someone had to throw the ball to the tight end.
There is a pretty good story on ESPN.com from Seth Wickersham about Andrew Luck. If you want a little reading material today, it is on the front of ESPN.
Did he talk?
The headline, I haven't read the whole thing yet. The headline, Andrew Luck finally reveals why he walked away from the NFL.
Oh.
Yeah, that's on ESPN today from Seth Wickersham. So there's that. Basketball doesn't play until Saturday, right? Valpo on Saturday afternoon.
Valpo Saturday afternoon.
Is that the first time they've played Valpo since the game?
I don't know.
I think they'll commemorate. I'm kidding. There was a time where there was some Bryce Drew buzz for coach rumors, through one of those times. That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
He was bad at Vanderbilt.
Been good at Grand Canyon.
Okay. Thanks. For whatever that is. worth or not worth at that point.
Is the luck story behind a paywall?
I think it is ESPN Plus. It would be if I were running ESPN.
Absolutely.
With that headline. Speaking of the playoff, Jackson Smith, the Ohio State wide receiver, will miss the game against Georgia. He's only played in 3 games this year, but they thought he might be back, but he is still nursing whatever it is that is injured
hamstring.
there. Okay, so that is that. We'll talk a little bit about it tomorrow. Deion's staff at Colorado is interesting. They go pluck Kent State's head coach, Sean Lewis, who's very well regarded from an offensive standpoint throughout college football. He was a finalist for the Cincinnati job that Scott Satterfield got at Louisville, so he's giving up a head job to go work with Deion at that place. Whatever. It is what it is. Might hit this too. Athletics. The athletic writers gave out grades to every Power 5 football team yesterday. They gave Ole Miss a B-. I have no issue with that grade at all.
That's more than fair.
Sounds. Yeah. Going into the year, we predicted 8-4, 9-3. They went 8-4, 9-3, and it was a weird way to get there. But it's hard to drop them much below a B, but you can't give them any higher than that either. So I got no issue with B-.
It's hard to evaluate the final 5 days of the season and not mark off. You were 8-1 with everything in play. And for whatever collection of reasons, you didn't get it done. And that's a detriment to your overall grade. I'd give them a B-. That's more than fair.
We'll go through some of the other ones of the other ones in that thing. I was seeing this here before we stop. 1 second. I think this is right.
Who would you give an A to in the SEC? Just Georgia?
LSU.
Okay.
Given whatever you did, yeah. I know they lost 4 games, but you win the West, you get an A.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think they were both A's.
I was trying to think who I would give grades to.
I would be very tempted to give one to South Carolina.
So I'd give Tennessee an A.
Actually, I think they got an A. Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't get an A+ because of the Carolina game, but I think they still got an A.
Yeah, I'd still give them an A. I'd give Carolina either a B+ or an A-. It's a good grade. 8-4. Beat Tennessee, beat Clemson. I'd give Mississippi State a B. 8-4. Considering there was some hot seat talk going into the season. He silenced that. Thinking about the West, I'd give A&M an F. I'd give Arkansas a C-. Give Auburn an F. I'd give Alabama a B.
Former Ole Miss linebacker and longtime Colts linebacker Jeff Harrod has a story in The Athletic today. They're writing about him, talking about some of the former players from the NFL that played through everything and had their bodies beaten up, and kind of how they don't have a lot of legacy today. It's kind of a forgotten era in a way throughout the NFL. So Zach Kiefer from The Athletic wrote about Jeff Harrod. So for Ole Miss people, it's there as well, including a picture of his hands today where every finger is just gnarled and just destroyed, pointing in all different directions. His left ring finger is still turned sideways today from dislocations.
Can't they fix that?
I don't know. I'm staring at it. I don't know. The cut line is Jeff Harrod's fingers are a constant reminder of the toll of an 11-year career on an NFL linebacker.
I've seen Bob Baumhauer's hands. All the knuckles are swollen, fingers are kind of just
the wing guy.
Yeah, you wonder, is it worth it? I guess they'd say it is, but man,
doesn't seem like it though, does it?
Those guys didn't always get paid the way that they get paid today.
Well, no, I think that was part of it. I think I can actually put the link in there, guys, so there you can see his fingers in the stream.
I don't even want to.
You don't want to click?
Not right now.
You good?
Yeah, I don't want. Got stuff to do today. Don't need that running through my feeble brain.
No surprises yet in the portal, right? I know a ton of quarterbacks, but as we close, there's no national, oh my God, he jumped in, right?
Not yet. And there might not be. I mean, you've got guys that, there was a lot of talk about Drake May getting in the portal. And he's not going to. North Carolina's going to take care of him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. A lot of guys that the portal was leveraged behind the scenes to get what they wanted.
A lot of that.
Matt Brown was irritated with how many schools basically had tampered with his quarterback, but hey,
such is life.
Welcome to 2022.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a tampering portal. It's happening. Your favorite coach is tampering, and his roster is being tampered with.
Yeah, such is life. So, all right, we'll be back tomorrow. Some more. We didn't really get to the NFL, so more NFL to go, as well as college football. We'll have another storyline as well sometime in the next 24 hours. So we'll hit that and more here with you. So stay locked into MPW Digital and RebelGrove.com.